because you go in the center, not on the left or to the right. Now, movement on the right actually is the blessing of this center, in the center, because the central line is the line of our evolution, is the line of sustenance, is the line by which we have become human beings. First of all, we get our sustenance. Like we can say, the gold is untarnishable. That is the sustenance of gold. We can say carbon has 4 valencies. In the same way, human beings have 10 valencies. They are in the stomach. These are the 10 sustenance described as the 10 commandments in the Bible. They all can be explained very well in Sahaja Yoga. This is the human sustenance which is around in that part which we call as void. It's not the same void or the gap as the Zen, but this is the void. We mean the space where we exist in our evolutionary state. Now this center is the one that is presided over. This one, the second one, is presided over by the Creator, and this one is through the preserver, the one who preserves. Now there can be a problem with people who believe that there is one God. I also believe the same thing. I mean, it is true, there's only one God. But he has different aspects. God doesn't exist like, say, Rock of Gibraltar. Even Rock of Gibraltar, if you see, it has got aspects. God has aspects like a gentleman. Now, say, for example, if a gentleman is a minister here, he could be a husband, he could be a father, he could be a brother, he could be anything. So God has different aspects. And out of that, the first aspect, as I told you, of the existence, the power of existence, that does not incarnate on this earth. It does not incarnate. It just exists. It watches. It sees. And that is in the heart, which is the spirit. Expression of that God Almighty who is watching the spectacle of his power. Now, the other aspect of God is that he is a creator. He creates all these galaxies and all these things. Now, as I told you yesterday about the Vishuddhi Chakra of this center, which is America, that if this center is awakened here, you don't have to have any missiles or anything. As in the Saturn, you have got a girdle around. You too have that girdle around America. And nobody can touch you. But you ought to be awakened first of all. If you are awakened in that center, nobody can touch you. Russia is going to know about it. They have to know about it because they are getting into parapsychology and all these things, and they are going to get possessed of it. They have to know through their supraconscious that you are the people who are awakened. Once you are awakened, nobody can touch you because there's a girdle around you. And there are 16 subplexuses, as there are 16, you have seen there are 16 substars. What you call them?
Moons.
Moons. They call them moons. 16 moons around Saturn. And you are one guided by Saturn. Saturn makes this country. Saturn has made this country. And this is the Vishuddhi Chakra, which is a very important chakra about which I'll tell you later. So this center we come to of our evolution is presided by the preserver, the aspect of preservation. He is the Father who looks after us. He is the one who gives us our well-being. He comes on this earth again and again in different forms. According to Indian Puranas, the Ark of Noah was saved by a fish which was a dolphin. And this dolphin fish was this aspect which incarnated. Then the second aspect came as the tortoise. Then the third as a quadruped. Like that they have described the evolution, how these incarnations had to come to break the barriers of the evolutionary ignorance. These are the people who came for the breakthrough. Ultimately, a short man was created called as Vamana. Then a very fiery big man, who is called as Poseidon in Greek language. Greeks made their gods look like human beings. I mean, they never kept their purity. See, everybody was given with some quality of a human being. I don't know why they did it, but that's how they spoiled the whole game. Now, this God, the God which we can say, or the incarnation, that came on this earth was a fiery man. A man who fought the nature, who fought all the different elements. And then after that came another aspect on this earth, who was Sri Rama, is the ideal king, the king who is a benevolent king, the one who gave us the political idea about how to govern. Sri Rama. This was 8,000 years back. Then came the incarnation. After that, the incarnation came in the center here. Before Rama, this incarnation was of the goddess, of the primordial mother. She herself incarnated on this earth before Rama. Because many forces which were negative were collected by the ignorance of human beings. And the seekers were very much harmed. So she came on this earth to kill those horrible demonic forces and to destroy them and to save the seekers, her children, to save them from this drowning into the sea of illusion. And she came on this earth. As they say, she came 1,000 times, but actually she came many a times before Sri Rama came in. Then came Sri Rama, who came on the right hand side of the heart. Now this is also a very important center within us. Those people who have problems with the fatherhood. Like today there was a girl who was scratching on the right hand, this heart. This is the center. We asked her what about her father. And she told me, my father is dead, but he's still guiding. I said, that's not good. You must give relief to your father. He should be given freedom and you will feel better. And people with this heart get asthma. This side, this problem, on this finger people get asthma, problems with their breathing. All these things can be cured if you just tell them that you ask your father to leave you and to be born again and forget about it. It works wonders, we have seen. But recently a doctor in England has performed some experiments with anorexia. There's a disease, anorexia, where the girls just don't eat any food. He found out that these girls, when they were told about their father, and that a rite can be, the after death rites can be done, and all that, they felt all right, and they got rid of it. Can you imagine? This is experimented and found out now. This we have been doing for the last 10 years, but recently it has been found out that if a girl is suffering from this disease of anorexia, you can cure it if the father is dead, then only it happens. So fatherhood, a man who is not a good father, a man who has a bad father, a girl who is too much attached to the father, or a girl who is not treated nicely also by her husband, also the husband is there. If he doesn't look after her well, she can suffer. Now the center part, this one, the one he is there, center heart. It's also a very, very important center where the goddess, the world, we say the mother of the world, Jagadamba she is called, he has incarnated. It's a very important thing for us. Because when you suffer, say from any insecurities, then this center starts going into palpitations. This center starts vibrating very much. Till the boy is of 12 years or a girl is of 12 years, in the sternum bone, the antibodies are created by this center. This center creates the antibodies and they circulate in the whole body and remain there. And whenever there is an attack, either from an entity or from any disease or anything, these antibodies fight it. And that is the center which is very important, especially for women. If their motherhood is challenged, or if they are insecure, if their husbands are making them insecure by any of their behavior, then they develop this trouble of this center where they may get breast cancer. Breast cancer comes to women when they are insecure. Only it can be cured when this center is awakened. Breast cancer can be very easily cured if they could be secured through awakening of this center, of the mother of the universe. And then we have the center up there, which is the Vishuddhi chakra, which is a very important for you because it is adorned by the completion of this evolution as called as Virat. It is Sri Krishna who is the complete incarnation of this primordial being. And he is placed there. It is he who is the witness, who is watching. When the Kundalini rises over this, you start witnessing the whole thing. It has got 16 subplexuses, and which look after your face, your nose, eyes, ears, and all these places. And when this center is out, then you have all kinds of problems. Say the left side. Left side, Vishuddhi Chakra catches when you feel guilty, when you are deficient, when you start thinking that it is very wrong too, I should have not done this and all that, then the left Vishuddhi catches. Or also with smoking, it catches. Smoking spoils the center very much. Imagine, in America, the percentage of smokers is the maximum. Can you imagine? In this center only, where they are born, this is the maximum here. Like, England is the heart of the universe, where they are lethargic. Europe is the liver of the world, where they are drinking. America is the Vishuddhi of the world, where they are smoking. What a justice done to themselves and to God, their creator. So, smoking is against the center. Thank God now it is established that it causes cancer. But still people are smoking. They say, what does it matter? But this is a very, very important center for us, because this is the time when we raised our head. The center came up. Now see, the ego and superego start developing actually from here. So this gives rise to ego and superego. Somebody is a very arrogant person, catches on the right. Who is very, very aggressive type, he catches on the right Vishuddhi. In the center, a person who is against God, who is anti-God, who is against collectivity, who is talking against God, who is openly saying things against God, catches on the center. So this center, as it is very important for you, because if you can awaken this center within you here, as I told you, you become as powerful as Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna has a Samhara Shakti. He has the power to kill. He has 4 special things with him, 4 weapons by which he kills. But one of them is this, in his hand is a discus. And this discus is shown around the Saturn which you see. And with this discus, at any distance, he can destroy. So his destructive powers are built in you. Nobody can destroy you. You have to just get to yourself and become yourself. You'll become so powerful a nation, but powerful in loving, in being compassionate and affectionate. In the real sense of the word, not the way we are now trying to help others. It's not the way. It can be very disgraceful sometimes. The way we try to help others can be very disgraceful. You'll be amazed how sometimes you people have helped and have created problem for others. I'll give you a very simple example which is really surprising and astonishing. Some years back we had a dearth of wheat, and people sent horrible wheat to India, horrible, that even the animals would not eat, just to help us. We are not so badly off people. We are very fussy about food. We may be poor, but we don't eat everything. We are very fussy. So people threw away that wheat outside. That wheat grew into a grass which was called as Congress grass. Can you imagine? And that grass started moving from the roads to the fields, from the fields to all the trees, and started engulfing it. It was like a mad grass. It was like a malignant grass, eating away everything that they... Imagine, as it is, we had dearth of thing, and this thing came, and we didn't know what to do with it. So we tried some Sahaja Yoga tricks, and it has worked. And thank God, that grass is now finished. But from that, with that grass, you had sent some other seeds of acacia. And these also people threw away. Out of these came out such horrible trees of acacia that it has got thorns which are poisonous. And in the villages they have grown so big that children can't play. And if they touch that, they get very seriously ill. It's a very serious, which you have done so innocently. There's no grace about it, I think, the way it was done. And that's how we can create problem through our help to others, because what is there to help? Who is the other? If you are the collectivity, if you are Sri Krishna, then what are you helping? You are helping yourself. This is your own finger. If you help your own finger, you don't help it in a different way than you help other fingers. That means you become collective being. And you are. People like Abraham Lincoln, as I said yesterday, and great people in this country established these great ideals of liberty. And liberty, they said that even Roosevelt once said that poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity anywhere. What a great thing to say, to feel that oneness with others, that anywhere poverty is a threat to our prosperity. All this collectivity has been expressed by your great men in this country. Not only, but the sense of responsibility, because it is on your shoulders. The responsibility of making others the self realize is your responsibility. You are the responsible nation. You are responsible for the whole universe. Whatever things you do here, that goes outside. You took to rock and roll, people started doing rock and roll. You did anything nonsensical, that started going abroad. Anything nonsensical you do here spreads everywhere, because Americans are doing jeans, now everybody wears. Even in India. Even in that hot country, they are wearing very strong starched ones. They get all kinds of problems with that, circulation problems. But Americans are doing, everybody is becoming American in India. That's it. In every developing country, you have put your hand, you have interest in everyone, but should be done after realization. When you feel the pangs of others, you feel the heart, you feel the real pain of others within yourself, and you do it not because you want to do it for others, but do it because you want to save yourself out of that pain. You do it for yourself. If somebody is drowned and you try to save a person who is drowned, when you don't save him, you actually are saving yourself, because something in you is getting drowned there. And that happens to you when you become that collective being. When you become the spirit, then it happens to you. Before that, whatever you do is disgraceful. Sometimes can be harmful, can be very ugly, and sometimes it can be so grotesque that people say, all right, you keep your head to yourself, you don't want to have any more of this. I mean, you take away all the self-respect of people. So one has to understand that you stand here in this world, in this universe, as the collective being, as the representative of that collective being at this Vishuddhi, and you have to give with your hands. For giving, this applies to your hands, and you must give. Those hands which have never given are no good. They are very insensitive hands. You must give, and that must come into you, and not giving for giving's sake, but nirvaj, as they say, without any return about it. Nothing. It's just giving, just flowing. Just like the sun's rays are coming to you. They don't want anything in return, do they? Just flowing. And that should happen. If Sahaja Yoga takes to it, I hope it takes to America, that Americans accept Sahaja, that it works out. You have already got all kinds of horrible people here. I don't know how you are going to work it out, but God willing, with your determination, I'm sure. This is the first Unity Church I'm visiting, and I hope that in other Unity churches also it would be made convenient for me, and we can save other people also, and they can become realized souls, and they can become the Vishuddhi Chakras, the responsible people, men of God, those who have to become prophets, that they are responsible, that they have to make others also prophets and save so many seekers who are gathered in this great country of yours, because they know here it will happen, and that they should be enabled to enter into the kingdom of God, because the time has come for that. So we come up to Vishuddhi Chakra, and the last center chakra here is the center of Christ. Should I go? If I do it tomorrow, we'll do that. All right? Tomorrow about Christ I'll tell you, because I want to take 1 hour explaining him very well. I was very much impressed by your whole idea about Christ, the unity, the integration, and your symbols are very correct. Everything is just there. Somebody has to just trigger it and it will work out. First, you must get your realization. Grow into it. Develop your discrimination. You become your own guru. And then everything that you are doing in this Unity Church will have a great meaning. You can prove it. You can prove it that there is God, there is Christ, there are all these incarnations. Christ himself has said that those who are not against me are with me. These are the people. And I'm sure one day it will happen that Unity Church will show its own worth, its own explanation of its existence, why it came into existence. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you may ask, and then we'll have the session for realization.
Sometimes in meditation and in chanting, a person will be rocking. Would you consider that a negative thing?
Sometimes in meditation, people will rock or move. Is this a negative thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should not rock. There should be no movement. The eye should be steady. There should be no movement in the eyelids. Nothing. This rocking is absolutely wrong. All these things should not happen. That's not meditation. Meditation is where you are absolutely normal. You are always in meditation after realization. You are in meditation.
I've studied with Paramahansa Yogananda, his SRF, Self-Realization Fellowship, and one of the things they teach is to focus the eyes, with the eyes closed on the ajna.
I must say that I don't want to start any controversy. That's one thing sure. But I'll tell you that proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's go this way. First of all, logically we should see. We have to get baptism through here, not through here. Do we get baptism through here? If the door is here, what's the use of breaking this window? And focusing an effort is not going to give you realization. It's wrong. You see, this pampers human effort. You see, it pampers you that you can put in an effort. You cannot. One must accept this position. We cannot put in an effort for a living thing. For example, as I told you, for a seed, if you have to sprout it, you have to put it in the mother earth. You cannot pull it out, isn't it? Whatever you may try, you cannot pull it out and sprout. You cannot put in any effort. Any effort is wrong, is against spontaneity and living things. So no effort is needed as such.
Yes.
I'd like to ask her about that center where the immune body is developed. At what age and what can you do in order to make that immunity get bigger? Or
She says two questions. At what age does the immune bodies start developing? And secondly, is there any way in which you can expand the capacity of the immune bodies?
Of course. Of course, that is what Sahaja Yoga is. When you become the truth, all untruth falls off. That is what Sahaja Yoga is. Absolutely, that is what it is. Tomorrow I am going to tell you about Christ and about cancer. About all these immune bodies, how we fight them. That may be day after tomorrow, I don't know. But tomorrow may not be, but day after tomorrow I'll tell you how to grow into it. Absolutely. You learn how to protect. You learn how to fight. Absolutely. That is what happens. After realization, then you must learn the divine technique. Not before realization. After realization, not before. Before it is connected, what's the use of playing with it? It has to be connected first. What is it?
Any other question?
Yes. What are the avenues available to keep these channels open?
What are the avenues available to keep the channels open?
To be your spirit. And we will let you know later on how to work it out. How to balance yourself. How the imbalances are there. This I'll do it on Wednesday. I will tell you how to keep them clear, how to keep your chakras clear, how to work it out. Everything I'll tell you. And also, we don't have a book about it, isn't it? But in any case, yes, we have a very big book on this Sahaja Yoga, which of course we do not sell to everyone, but we'll see about it. We'll see about it, because you people are growing very fast. If you people really grow, then we'll sell it to you also. But normally we don't sell it to everyone.
Do you feel Hatha Yoga is necessary?
Not at all, nothing. On the contrary, Hatha Yoga creates a problem. I told you in the morning to a lady who was doing Hatha Yoga. I told her how Hatha Yoga in the modern times means nothing but physical acrobats. It is not that. Hatha Yoga was practiced about, I don't know how many years back, about 8,000 years back, when we had a different system of life, where children from 5 to 25 lived with a guru who was a realized soul and led a very celibate life. To such an extent that university, any university, say somebody's university was Vishwamitra. Then that realized soul was Vishwamitra, and that university people could not marry. Even today they cannot marry. Even today they cannot marry each other. The celibacy of that kind was present in those days. And in that time, when you were completely celibate, you were innocent, you were given these Ashtanga Yogas. There are 8-fold paths of this Hatha Yoga, out of which 8th one is Yamaniyama, where the discipline and things are there to maintain a proper life. That was given to them. And then after that, when that was done, the maintenance of the proper life and all that was taught. Also they were told the exercises were according to the movement of the Kundalini, wherever was the problem. Supposing the problem is in your particular center, then you have to do that movement. That particular exercise you have to do. But it's, as I told you this morning, that your car has not started, you are still at home, and you are paying the toll for what? You must move to find out where is the obstruction, then you pay the toll. And nowadays it is so absurd that we take the Hatha Yoga in such a manner that we take the whole medicine box without having any disease and get diseased. It's a big science. It's a very big science one has to understand. Everything is correlated. How is your center? Which center is catching? What center requires what kind of treatment? How to clear it? And this technique you will learn in no time. It's very simple once you get your realization.
Is there anything that we can start doing now?
Yes, just now I'm going to give you realization. Alright? That's it. That's just like a seeker. Just like a seeker.
On the sheet it tells them how to meditate as well.
Oh, that I will tell later. Now what about you? You have been raising your hand.
What kind of a yoga did Lord Krishna practice?
Sahaja Yoga.
According to Yogananda, he said that Lord Krishna practiced Kriya Yoga.
Not at all. He's wrong. It is just to apportion himself to him. You see, Sri Krishna, if I have time I can tell them. He, in his Gita, he has prescribed 4 things. But Krishna was an incarnation of diplomacy. He was an incarnation of divine diplomacy, we should say. Because when he told Arjuna that you find it within yourself, the first thing, he was not a businessman, so he told the best thing first. He said, find it within yourself, the jnana, the awareness. In your awareness you should find it. You should find your spirit. You should become that. This is the first thing he told. But he was that time a mediocre, an intellectual I should say. And he said that you are telling me to fight the war. And here you are saying that you find yourself and you become yourself and to be a witness. What Sri Krishna meant was that you become a witness, then the whole thing becomes a drama. But he didn't understand. He being a father, I give an analogy of a father who is telling his son that the horse is behind the cart, so put the horse in front, so the cart will move. But the son is saying that why not sitting down here, I move the cart. So he says, all right, go ahead. He says, all right, go ahead. Because if you tell them straightforward, they don't listen to you, so tell them in another way. So that diplomacy has the essence that you give absolute conditions. such absurd conditions that people discover later on and find that it was absurd. So the absurd condition, he said, that the first thing you do is to do your karmas, do what you want to do, and put it at the lotus feet of the Lord. It's an absurd condition. You cannot do it because your ego is intact. You may believe I am serving the Lord. You may believe it. Believe is different from reality or not. Because ego is there, and that's why you feel hurt. Sometimes you take the credit. Unless and until you are realized, unless and until you become a hollow personality, you never say like that. After realization, what you say? What you say? It's going, it's coming. Mother, it's not working. It just doesn't work. You start talking in a third person. You don't say, I'm giving you realization. You don't say, it's not working. It has worked. It has come up. What? Realization. You don't say, I. So you become an akarmi. Means like the sun shines, it doesn't say I shine. There is no karma attached. This was the first thing he said. But this absurdity people never saw. And even today people say, I am serving the Lord. But you are not even connected. How are you serving Him? That's one thing. Because there is ego, you are identified with ego, actually you are serving your ego. Unless and until you become realized, you do not serve God. This is one point, which was absurd, he told. The second point, this is Karma Yoga. The second point, he said, was that you should do Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is that you should worship God, pray to Him. But as usual, because he was diplomacy, he put a very interesting word called Ananya. You should do Ananya Bhakti. Ananya means when there is not the other. When there is not the other. When you are not the other. When you are one with God. That means all those people who are talking Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna on Oxford Street are not connected. They are spoiling their throat, will get throat cancers. You are not yet connected. You should be Ananya. Ananya means you should be realized. You should be connected with God. Imagine, supposing you're President Reagan. I go to him and stand before his house and start calling Reagan, Reagan, Reagan. I'll be arrested. I must have a proper protocol. I must have proper permission. I should have a proper way of going there, isn't it? Everybody starts calling God as if he's in his pocket. God, give me a job, give me money, give me a car, give me this. I mean, imagine. You have to be connected with God. That's what he said very clearly, Ananya. But these people, these are blind people, they cannot see through. Then the third thing, he said, that it happens within you that you get these happenings, is the Kundalini Yoga. He said that when the Kundalini starts, the Jalandhar Bandha and all these bandhas take place. When the Kundalini rises, these granthis go into a particular kind of a formation, like a car. When you start, all the engine starts moving. So he described all the engine, how it moves. That this Mr. Yogananda picked up. And he said he preached Kriya Yoga. That means if you, say, have a car which has stopped, which has not yet started, you move the wheel and you move all the machines, will it work? You cannot do it. It happens automatically. It is spontaneous happening within us. When we eat our food, how the food is digested? Automatically. In the same way, when Kundalini rises to support its rise, all these bandhas and all these kriyas take place, and khechari, also your tongue is pulled in. So people, they cut their tongues, put it back. Is that the way? It's absolutely artificial, it's stupid. To do like that, many people have seen. I don't know, the early ones who came of Yogananda, they had the tongues wagging like that. Imagine by doing all this, you take out your eyes, take out your nose. This is not the way. And that you suffer, you shave your heads, wear a kind of a cloth. You cannot. It's a thing that's living within you and acts in a living way. You cannot just maneuver it. Artificially, you cannot. It has to start. Like even this camera, you see, a television, anything, this has to be put to the mains. You cannot start with your finger the camera working, can you? The electricity has to be there. In the same way, energy of Kundalini has to be there to work it out. This is absurd. So the Kriya Yoga, which is described of Sri Krishna, is the living process. He said it's the living tree. I'm surprised. Human beings are very great, I must say. The way they may make a pie out of everyone. So all these great incarnations came on this earth. They wrote it very clearly. They said everything very clearly. It was very simple. There was nothing to be so much deluded. Of course, he used a word like Ananya. You see, in any dictionary, what is the meaning of word Ananya has been when there is not the other? What have we made of Christ? What have we made of Krishna? What have we made of Rama? When I see this, I'm amazed. But you can't make anything out of me. Because you will get your realization. After that, if you try to do anything to me, you lose your vibration straightforward. I can tell you this, man. There was a gentleman who got his realization from me, an Indian, typically. He went to New York, started his thing, and then in Los Angeles, he started a Surge Yoga Center. And he came back to see me in Bombay. And the Surge Yogis told me that he's just giving us a fit. It's horrible. His vibrations are horrible. I said, I know that. You don't talk to him. So I called him. I said, what do you do? Oh, I've started a big thing there in Los Angeles and in New York and this and that. All right. Can I have a brochure? You won't believe he had written that for ordinary vibrations, $75. And for extraordinary special vibrations, $175. I said, oh God, what's this? I said, how do you do this way? He says, yes, mother, that's what we have to do after I have to leave. I said, you have to leave, all right. You do your work that you were doing. You were teaching something, you do that. But you cannot sell these vibrations. I didn't give you for selling. Did you buy from me? They wouldn't believe. And he was very angry. And then he went away. He said, there's a guru who is in Calicut. He's a very wonderful man. I said, you go and see him. He went and saw him. And this guru wouldn't allow him to enter into his house. He threw stones at him. He wouldn't allow him to enter even the gate. So he went back to the station. He was sitting down there. Then somebody met him from the guru. He said that guru was saying that he went and insulted mother, and how does he come to be here? Well, not see his face. Then he sat there for 3 days and he was allowed to go, and then guru sent a very good poem about me in Sanskrit language, which he read it out to me. But the fellow is just the same still. He's not changed. It's just the same. Now, he has no vibrations, he's not a Sahaja Yogi, he has nothing to do, but he has an ashram, he's making money out of it. Of course, we have withdrawn our photographs and everything, but he's just the same. What am I to do? He's now making them stand on their heads and do all kinds of things. And he has more people than you are here. That's the best part of it. People are more attracted to these things than to reality. It's very true. When I came last time to America, there was a lady. I told her that your guru was believing in all miracles and you better not start it. She said, no. I want the ultimate, I want the parama, I am not going to go into it. I said, all right. Promise me. She said, yes. But then she started getting some sort of a rice falling from her hand and all that. And then she started doing her things, you see. She called people, told them even the name of the horses which are going to win. All sorts of things. And you won't believe, when I went back to America, to my most embarrassed condition, I found that she had 3,000 disciples falling at her feet. And she was absolutely possessed. She came to me and I told her, what are you doing? She said, Mother, this is the powers you have given me. I said, I've never given you these powers to beat people and tell them about horses. This is absurd. She said, but this is happening to me. I said, all supraconscious, all nonsense. She wouldn't listen. I said, all right, tell this gentleman about his future. She told him something. It's all wrong. It's not true. I said, tell this lady. She couldn't tell. So she said, Mother, have you taken away my powers? I said, if they were your powers, I would have guarded it. I would have worshipped you. But they are not yours. They have gone, finished. But she would not give up. You see, popularity. She was on with it. Now, only thing is, she's in a lunatic asylum. So all these things they do. They know how to make these things. They're so superficial. They don't know what injuries they're doing to themselves and to others. No, you were asking some question?
I wanted to ask you about the meditations from the Maharishi Mahayoga.
Now again the controversy. Again the controversy. The less said the better. Alright?
The what?
The less said the better. For example, the mantras he gives you. You know what they mean? One of them, Inga. It means the tail of the scorpion. Now where is the scorpion and where is the tail? When the Kundalini has started, then you should know which center it is catching and what mantra to be said. It is not that you can just give a mantra and charge 300 pounds. And people do pay. And this flying squad that he has started, the head of that flying squad, here he is. He's sitting down here, he will tell you. The head of that, where he went and learned from him, flying so-called. He suffered from epilepsy, his wife suffered from epilepsy, his daughter suffered from epilepsy, and they came to me. And they wrote to him about me. In that miserable condition. He was the head, he was going to teach them flying. I told him, why don't you ask your guru to go on this leaning tower of Pisa and make him fly? And you pay him some money for that. It will be a good idea. They pay 3,000 pounds for flying. You are not going to become birds now, are you? But it is very difficult, to accept, really, because you have paid so much money. This is like we have paid it. So better have it. You see, whatever, like you go to a restaurant, you pay for it. And may be bad, but you eat it. It's after all you have paid for it. That's human nature, isn't it? Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. And difficult to give realization to people from all these gurus. I can tell you, Yogananda, or this, what's his name is? This Bandasura's name, what is his name? Muktananda. I know them very well. I know them. I've known them for ages. And they know me too. Yes.
Are there other sources where you can reach your realization other than through you?
Are there other sources where you can reach your realization other than through you?
Through me. It's not a question of through me or anything. It's through your Kundalini. Is your Kundalini within you?
Is there someone else that can guide you? Or?
I don't know. I haven't seen many. I wish somebody could. Like, you see, people are very much hurt to see that I'm doing it. I said, Baba, you do it. I'll be very happy to retire. Really. They said, why you, mother? I said, really, I don't know why I was chosen for this. It's a thankless job. You must have tremendous patience. I tell you. The day I retire, my husband will pay you for that.